Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Money Talks show. I am Big Money Drew Nicholas, and so we're in episode 3 here. I've been doing this since WrestleMania, and I've been kind of like putting off a couple of things I wanted to talk about before the big controversial thing that happened this week. Um, but basically, all right, so let me get this out of the way. This whole thing with Jinder being the number one contender to the WWE Championship after being a jobber for almost his entire career in WWE. To my knowledge, and of course, if you've listened in the past, I only really started coming back since 2012 to be a full wrestling fan. To my knowledge, Jinder never won a title before. And, if anybody can correct me in the comments or if anybody wants to join the live chat, that's, totally up to you. But to my knowledge, he's never won a title before. So I found it really interesting that he all of a sudden is, losing some weight and getting veins on his veins and becoming this big deal all of a sudden. And I mean, this is what the superstar shakeup is supposed to do, right? Like, it's supposed to have people come up to SmackDown from Raw or go to Raw from SmackDown and have this new outlook and have, basically become a different person and totally like wreck shop and have it mean something and be, I think, logical. I'm on the fence with Jinder. I'm not hindering him, but I kind of have to at the same time. I mean, he was just on Raw a few weeks ago and cold cocked Finn Balor, and of course, Finn Balor was on Raw. He did do stuff in the ring, so he didn't have a full, a concussion to such a degree that he wouldn't be able to perform. So I felt better to find out that Jinder didn't hinder Finder. All right, I'll stop trying to get that over, I promise. I just wanted to say it one more time. He didn't concuss him, fine. Or at least, like I said, he didn't concuss him to such a degree that he would be out for an extended period of time. Yeah, but I just don't know how to feel, I would have rather preferred Sami Zayn, Luke Harper to win. But I can see that I can see that there's a bigger picture right now. So, I don't necessarily like it, but, I am not one of those people that goes, oh, WWE has to cater to what I like and can only book the way I would want them to book. So, I see a bigger picture here. So I'm not, but, let's calm down with all the insane love on forums and on Twitter for Mahal, because, I mean, that just came out of nowhere, and I think is just completely ridiculous. The dude's okay, but like there's people defending him to the death. Come on, that's crazy. I'm just not a fan right now of what SmackDown did there. and 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 then the Bollywood boys were with him also, and I thought that was weird, because they came out of nowhere and assisted him when I haven't seen them since the first episode of 205 Live. That disgrace of a show, 205 Live. Yeah, this week's episode, by the way, of 205 Live, that just goes to show why I don't watch anymore because, geez, how ridiculous that's turned into. Um, I'm just happy that Mustafa Ali, at least, is his own babyface doing the flips and making us all happy. And I really enjoy King Neville as well, and Jack Gallagher. Um, but on gender, back on topic here, I'm just not into it. I don't think he deserves it right now. It just like it's kind, it kind of like it reminds me of when Sheamus won the Money in the Bank. Uh, I think in 2015 it was. It just came out of nowhere, and like he was floundering in the mid card, and all of a sudden now he can just cash in and be WWE World Heavyweight Champion. At the time, it was just World Heavyweight Champion before the Universal title. Um, I kind of feel like that this is what they did with gender at the same time. Um, I just don't think he deserves it right now. You know, like I said before, okay, he dropped some pounds, pumps up before he goes out to the ring so his veins can grow veins. But just because of this, and as Mr. William Reed in my live chat here, hello, Mr. William Reed. Um, WWE Network is going into India this month, and they opened up a WWE shop, I believe, if I read correctly. And now all of a sudden, Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood boys, and they had oh man, on 205 Live, not Mustafa Ali, the other guy. I don't remember his name. This week on, and it's just like, okay, so now we're gonna do this now. Okay, we're gonna make some money, I guess. And this is the most interesting thing. Um, the most interesting thing about it is that, and I kind of tweeted about this today. It seems like we've peaked in the reality era now that wrestling fans are defending a wrestling company's decision to just insert Jinder Mahal into the WWE Championship picture just to make money. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. Um, I feel like that's peak reality era. That now the fans, who so many for years have been wanting something better from WWE, to just now go, oh, well, WWE is opening up the India market now, so yeah, sure, go ahead, whatever. That's not what I want, and that's not what a lot of people want. And of course, what I want. I'm just some dude talking on YouTube, but that doesn't get me interested in the show. WWE pushing Indian or people of Indian descent superstars because they are in India now doesn't interest me. And I'm not saying this I don't mean this in a racist way. I'm not racist. If I apologize if that comes off as racist, I don't mean it that way. I'm just not interested because it doesn't fit with what's going on right now. So, you know, I don't get it right now. I just I'm not a fan, and we'll see what happens next week. We'll see, you know, what goes on with the House of Horrors match between Orton and Wyatt. See how that goes. Hopefully, that's not too much of a disaster. Um, yeah, I mean, so you know, Braun Strowman. I want to talk about Braun Strowman. He's a very interesting person in WWE right now. I am so much into what is going on with Braun Strowman right now. Um, they're really doing it right, and I'm really happy. And they had the segment on Raw this week with Braun and Kurt Angle, the new GM, who I'm absolutely loving on TV every week. That is a joy. I'm really happy for that. Um, and basically, Kurt Angle puts Braun and Roman into a match for Payback in, I believe, 2 weeks. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. I think it's next Sunday now. So I guess that's 2 weeks. But anyway, um, and then now Braun does that thing that he used to do with Mick Foley, where he's like, "Oh, I want competition now," and or if you don't give me competition, you know, something bad's gonna happen essentially. Um, yeah, so I'm really enjoying what they're doing with Braun right now. But I have to, and here's my next hot take. Um, so the ring collapses on Monday, and everyone's losing their minds. Honestly, I have to say I didn't care that much. Yes, it's a great visual. You know, don't get me wrong, it is a great visual, and that will be played for years to come, and that'll be on their like top 10 lists and whatever. So I understand, like I said, the bigger picture, but I honestly think that it was because of the Big Show that I didn't really care, you know, or at least that's part of it. Um, sorry, I'm not a wow. Big Show is in amazing shape right now, and he needs a push. Yeah, I'm not that guy. I'm sorry. Um, I'm even happy that there was no match with Shaq at WrestleMania because I really felt like that was unnecessary. Um, and I respect Big Show absolutely, and he's accomplished so much, and he did a lot of amazing things for the wrestling business. So I'm not knocking him, but I'm not into it. I really not. Um, and then that leads to the other thing that I want to say. Why do all of this? Flipping over the ambulance and him like being so agile and crazy great in the ring. The rope, the ring break, this monster push right now. Why do all of this to bring Roman Reigns back and have Roman win? Like, and again, in the past, I have talked before that I like Roman. I was always a fan of Roman, and just this past year, they've been doing it so wrong, so so incredibly wrong, uh, that it's almost sickening to me at this point. Um, and I like Joe Anoa or Anoa. I don't exactly know how to pronounce it, but I like Joe the guy. Absolutely, I think he's a very nice person. He's a very humble person. He's very respectful. And, I'm heartbroken for what's going on right now. My deepest condolences to him and his family for his brother passing away. That's awful. Um, but the thing is that Roman Reigns is a terrible character. A terrible character that Vince will not stop pushing the way that it is. And, personally, I don't know how they can do this character right without a heel turn. I don't know if there's anything at this point, especially after what happened at WrestleMania, anything at this point that can be done to revitalize this character the way that this character of Roman Reigns is being presented right now. And yeah, I know there are those out there that, yeah, Drew, they don't need to turn him heel. He's already heel. Stop. He's not a heel. He's not. He's booked as a face, and he sucks at being a face. And Vince won't stop pushing him as the terrible face that he is. That's basically it. And of course, this is really because WWE's faces are generally terrible faces. But, not to go off on a tangent with that, I just can't with this Roman Reigns stuff right now because it really does bother me. I'm tired of it. He retired Undertaker. To their credit, I don't know if they did this on the fly or if this was always planned, if somebody in creative said, night after WrestleMania, Roman just retired The Undertaker. That their reaction to him is going to be strong. And it was overwhelming. I mean, I don't remember a reaction like that. I don't think I ever saw a reaction like that, ever, since my time coming back to WWE in 2012. I really don't remember a reaction like that. And, it's just like, kudos to them, really, for doing the right thing for Roman the night after WrestleMania, of him just standing there, eating it all up, and just, those few words after like 13, 14 minutes of an incredible reaction from the crowd, and just says, "This is my yard now," drops the mic and leaves. That was the right thing to do, and they did that perfectly. But then they bring Braun back into it, and then they make him this, this baby face that has to fight from underneath the big bad again, and that's the problem. You can't book him like that right after he retires The Undertaker. That's like such a wrong way to go about doing it. But and it's I can equate it to like the other thing that I'm tired of is Charlotte getting every women's division accolade because she's Charlotte Flair. Like she has to have the first Hell in a Cell. She has to be the first women's champion after they dropped the Divas title. She had to be the longest reigning champion after AJ Lee. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Nikki. That's wrong. I'm getting too angry now. I have to calm down. No, I'm not really getting angry. I'm just passionate about this, and I want, when it comes to Roman, I want Roman to be what Vince won't make him. And William Reed bringing up that he sees this a lot with everyone who is a fan of Roman Reigns, that we're all getting tired of this same old stuff with him. Um, like I said, I want Roman to be what should have happened is Raw after WrestleMania, Roman does what he does perfect. And then what should have happened from there is they should have made him a heel. That's how do you get that reaction from a crowd and not turn the guy heel? It doesn't make sense. He was it was the perfect time to drop that, you know, oh yeah, I'm a I'm a big, bad baby face and I'm gonna shove it in everyone's faces. It was a time to just snap out of it and go, this is the reaction that we're getting. Now let's put him up against some baby faces. Let's have him be more cocky. Let's have him win the Universal Championship. Or, well, I wouldn't say the Universal Championship right now. I say have him win the Intercontinental Championship from Dean Ambrose. You know, like get him actually to be a heel for real instead of, you know, putting him right back into a program with Braun after he retired as The Undertaker. Because I really do feel like it's going to hurt Braun in the long run. Braun is a character you can't mess up. Once he loses his magic, this lightning in a bottle WWE has with him right now, it's going to be such a shame because, it's Braun is just an anomaly right now. There's no one like him. He is a badass, a legitimate badass, a legitimate heel. Yes, the crowd cheers for him, but that's what the crowds do now. They cheer the heels, you know. But you know, I don't know. And they don't cheer every heel. They don't cheer Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin is a perfect example of a fantastic heel in WWE. He does not care about the crowd. He does not pander to them. It's about him. It's about making money. Corbin is a fantastic heel right now. But with Braun is just this monster right now that, you just can't mess it up with him. You can't mess it up with him. And I really, really hope it doesn't happen. But, I'm just not optimistic about it. I'm really not. And I want to believe that they'll surprise us and Roman won't win at Payback, but I don't know. I mean, honestly, I am legitimately surprised that they kept him off TV this week. I was waiting for him to come out because they had him right last week after the ambulance spot. They had him at house shows fighting the guy. What? That's crazy. That's like the definition of shoving somebody down someone's throat. The and you say I see things like this, I'm not optimistic about it. I'm really not, and I just hope that they do better. But again, I'm not optimistic. So I don't know. I just hope everything works out. One interesting thing I wanted to talk about today also was the story came out that uh, Shinsuke was supposed to get Bobby Roode's Glorious song. That's crazy, only because, I mean, listen to Nakamura's song now, and now think about Glorious. I mean, Could you imagine that Shinsuke came out on SmackDown to Glorious? That just is so freaky and weird. I can't. It- I, I can't. That's just too crazy. Um, yeah. Glorious. I mean, Glorious made Bobby Roode that character. It just fits that character, that snobby jerk. Glorious fits that character. I don't think it could have ever fit Nakamura. Um, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Um, so and funny, I talked about Finn Balor before, but man, I don't understand what they're doing with him right now. Like, what is the point of him? Well, he had Jinder 2 weeks ago, or last week technically, um, and he fought uh, Kurt Hawkins this week. That was it was weird, and I understand for this week it was probably more of the safe move considering what happened last week, but um, I just don't get it. And I mean it was like a minute match, and not even like it was just bam. You blink, and Finn Balor wins, which I mean is good, but yeah, I really just don't get that. Um, One very funny moment from Raw was definitely Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho calling Mike, uh, crap, forgot the last name, Mike Rome. I called Mike Rome Tom, and they did that, you know, like Tom, Mike, Tom type of thing. Like that Bugs Bunny, uh, Daffy Duck thing. That was really funny. Yeah, I really laughed at that. And then the Drifter walks by right when he's about to put Mike on the list, and then he puts the Drifter on the list. I actually thought that was a very well done segment. Um, I enjoyed that. But and then now here's the other thing too. So they bring Bray to Raw, and they're still having Bray fight Randy for what is pretty much SmackDown's top championship, which now has a number one contender. But then I'm not really 100% sure if if Bray wins the match, which he won't, but if he were to win the match, would he bring the 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 WWE Championship to Raw, or would he go back to SmackDown? I don't really know like how that's working out, but I don't know. It's weird because I really enjoyed the feud when Randy was in the Wyatt family, and then I liked the whole, he's screwing them now and burns the Wyatt compound, and I enjoyed that, and then it just kind of went downhill from there. Well, as things with Bray tend to do, he has a great promo ability, but it doesn't work out in the end. It's very unfortunate. Um, so now we're gonna have that House of Horrors match, and I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, it's better than the Asylum match. That's all I can say. Maybe they'll do it in like a haunted house or something. Who knows? There was Jeff Hardy and Cesaro. They had a really cool match on Raw this week. Um, I kind of find it really funny that the 2 weeks now, the um, the Hardy matches are being sponsored by an allergy medication with an owl as the mascot. I mean, come on, we know what they're doing there. We know what they're doing there. If you don't know what they're doing, Rebby Hardy was on Twitter right after the Hardys left TNA and just ripped into TNA. And she said, after a humongous rant on Twitter, she says, and fuck that owl. And now the Hardys matches are being sponsored by, well, not the Hardys matches, but they're doing Raw sponsored by an owl that's shown on the TV as the Hardys get into the ring. So, you can put two and two together there. I think it's hilarious, and I hope it happens next week too. Yeah, that's really funny. Other than that, I mean, we had TJ Perkins win heel. I'm always interested in like a new heel turn or a new face turn. I hope that it works out better for him because his face character was not that great, like I mentioned before with Roman. WWE's faces are generally dicks. So I like the Neville's advocate thing. I think that's a nice little thing that they're doing. So we'll see what happens there. 205 Live as a whole, though, like I can't even watch that show anymore. It's bad, and especially what happened this week with Alicia Fox. That was just, and then Rich Swann being a dick, a babyface dick to Alicia Fox after Alicia dumps Noam Dar. It's like I can't. I just can't. I care about King Neville. I care about Jack Gallagher. I care about Mustafa Ali, like I said before. And then that's let's see. I mean, what happened on SmackDown? Oh well, yeah. So Charlotte, I brought up Charlotte before. So she's gonna fight Naomi for the women's championship on SmackDown. I believe next week, and then she's probably gonna win because she's Charlotte. Yeah. So I'm just starting to get into Naomi being the champion, and then now Charlotte won the match, so she's the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And yeah, so I don't know. The highlight of SmackDown was AJ Styles and Baron Corbin for me, though. That was a tremendous main event. I like that main event more than I liked Strowman and Big Show. Yeah, it's just that's how you do a main event. That was fun to watch. They had a lot of great spots in that match. Um, and then, of course, how can I forget? Because he was somewhat involved in it when Corbin threw AJ into him. Kevin Owens. Can't not love Kevin Owens and this face of America gimmick that they're doing with him now. I love that. Um, that should be fun to watch every week. And hey, if anybody from WWE happens to watch this, don't make Shane co-host Talking Smack with Renee when you've got the face of America on SmackDown, please. The face of America should be co-hosting Talking Smack with Renee, please, for the love of God. Um, yeah. But other than that, it was a pretty good week for WWE. Well, yeah, there was something else that I forgot to mention. Uh, I'll just get into this really quickly because this is actually another huge controversial thing. So the thing with Morrow and JBL right now, um, I will admit at first I didn't know everything that went on with JBL. So at first I was when the first initial story was coming out that Morrow was gone essentially. I mean he's not like out of WWE, but he's not working really for them anymore. Because of JBL bullying him essentially. I mean incessantly. Um, I had initially made some comments on Twitter about how I have been in a position before where I've suddenly been fired from a job and it sucks. And while I still feel that way, I never bullied anyone at my job before. And JBL not only has bullied Mauro Ranallo, but he's bullied a lot of other announcers, other wrestlers when he was a wrestler. And, more and more stories have been coming out about him. And there he is on commentary for SmackDown. And, I could tell that this week was a bit different because they didn't really have him in his usual JBL commentary ways of like talking down to Byron or like the stuff that he would normally do. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm just like I feel I feel awful for Morrow. I mean, of course, Morrow is he's already gone back to a that he did over the weekend. Um, Morrow will be fine. He's not out of a job now. Um, I feel like, man, it's a tough thing to talk about. I don't have any mental health issues. Um, and mental health is definitely a humongous problem in this world. And for JBL to do what he did to Morrow, 100% wrong, absolutely. And William Reed says, "Do you think JBL has CTE from his football days?" That could be possible for sure. I mean, and back when JBL was doing football, there was no testing for this type of stuff really, and there was that whole mentality of oh, you got knocked out, you'll be fine, get back in the game. So that could actually very well be possible, but um, I now I kind of think it's time for JBL to go. And, yeah, it's just, like I said, it's a tough topic. But, you just have to see all of the stories that came out of what JBL has done, and it pretty much tells you what needs to be done. So WWE's got to get on that, or I mean, if you're not gonna fire him, get him off the commentary table. You can't have him with all these controversial stories coming out, and people against him, and the SmackDown crowd during the commercial break, you know, basically calling for his head on a stick. You can't have him there anymore. You know, I hope that they um they take him off commentary at least. At the very least, take him off of SmackDown commentary every week. Um, Maybe have JR come back. That would be fun. I know JR doesn't really want to do a huge schedule like before. And, speaking of, people who passed away, my condolences to JR for his wife. I mean, what a terrible situation that is. And that's an awful, awful thing I would never want to have to go through. Um, but, yeah, so at least for a good uh to uh, yeah, like I said, difficult topic. um so with that being said, with my rambling on and on and on about everything, we've hit about the 40, almost at the 45-minute mark. um Thank you to Mr. William Reed in the live chat. I know this was a different day and a different time, and next week, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do it on Friday as well. I know I've only started doing this, and I've already gone off of doing it on Wednesdays. But next week, I have a very big week. I am a college student, so I have things that I need to prepare for. So Friday, I might do it in the morning on Friday, or I'll try again at 3. So I'll either do Friday at 11 a.m. or Friday at 3 p.m. So, my Twitter at NicholasDrew91, I'll keep everyone up to speed there, what time I'm going to do it, but it's definitely going to be on Friday. That's happened without a doubt. I just don't know what time yet. So, again, thank you to William Reed in the live chat. Thank you to anybody who likes, anybody who subscribes, anybody who views, everybody. Thank you. And I'm having fun with this. Soon, I'll be bringing on some people. I'll bring on some of my old guys from Smart City. I can bring on some new people. Maybe some some people from Twitter, some people from my other hangout joint, Cage Side Seats. And, I'm having fun, and I hope you're having fun listening. Bye for now.